So I just arrived at Chicago O'Hare. I have about a 35-minute layover until I fly into Atlanta. I just checked the weather down there and it looks like Augusta is getting hammered with rain, so hopefully they'll be able to complete the round today. I checked the weather for tomorrow. Looks good. So I finally landed in Atlanta and I believe I'm this guy right here. That's where I'm at right now. So need to go out those doors to my rental car and then it's on the way to Augusta. So I'm at the ground transport to pick up my rental car. Look at this. Escalator's broken? Come on. You kidding me? Look at this. Look at this. Finally, after some time, I got my rental car here. It's a nice Mustang here, a little sports car action going on. So I'm gonna hop in. I got about a 2.5 hour drive to Augusta, and I'll see you guys when I get there. Alright, I just pulled into the parking lot here at Augusta National. It's 10 minutes before the gates even open, and it is insane how many cars are already here and how many people are already lined up. There's a lot of excitement in the air for obvious reasons. Should be a pretty amazing day. I'm really excited to get inside. Unfortunately, I can't take the camera inside, but I'm going to walk around here a little bit and get some footage of cars, I guess. So that's as far as I'm allowed to take you. There's no cameras past that point, so I'm gonna drop you guys back off in the car, head into the Masters, and I'll catch up with you later. As you can clearly see, I didn't have time to do a post-round synopsis, conclusion, or whatever of my day, so what you're looking at now is a rendering, thanks to Google Earth, of Magnolia Lane. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the events of the day, what happened, what I did. So I'm just going to walk you through my experience and what the 2018 Masters was like for me. So as I stated, we're looking down Magnolia Lane now. You can see here to the right, this is actually the old driving range that really doesn't get used much during the tournament. And right up here is the clubhouse, and this is where everyone takes that iconic picture in front of the flowers that are shaped like the United States. And over here to the right, you can see the practice facilities. I backtracked up this way, and the furthest I got was up here to the practice facility. I didn't go any further, but I assume everyone walks in down this way, and then down this path here. This is actually a huge gift shop that people can buy whatever they want to buy that's Masters themed. And then you keep walking down that way, and this is actually your first glimpse of the course if you come in off this front entrance. And you can see that it walks right out to the first fairway here, but you don't obviously walk out there. You have a scoreboard here. Now this is actually where my day began. Well, I mean, not technically where my day began. Technically, my day began way back here. This is Berkman's place, and this is the entrance to Berkman's place. You can see this is that parking lot you saw during my intro. I believe my car was parked like right here, but I came over here across the bridge, and then this is that little gravel lot and the path that the people were crossing the street that leads into the entrance area. So my day, I was fortunate enough to get a Berkman's pass, and what that entails is you get to enter this humongous facility right here. I won't go into too much detail because I talked about it in my last year's trip, but these are replica greens that you can actually put on tournament speed greens, and it is an amazing experience. But anyway, I didn't want to mess around because I only had one day, so I didn't want to waste it all inside Berkman. So what I did is I went inside, I had breakfast, I came out, I shook hands with Lynn Swan, about right there, no brag, but I walked out of this back entrance here, and you can't see it through the trees, but there's actually a path that comes out here, and this would be the path that the regular grounds ticket would get you onto the course. This is another humongous gift shop there that I had, once again, no time for because I had to bust it out to the course. So came back down, walked up through the course. This is just, it's so amazing because this is, in my opinion, the best way to see the course for the first time, because you come in off this trail, it's all wooded, you don't see anything, and then you come up this way and walk out this path here, which you see the 16th for the very first time, and to me, that's the best way to experience Augusta National for the very first time. But let's go back up to the front of the course here, and I will go over where my day started. I actually started right here on the first tee station, about right where this hand is. I got to the course early, and there wasn't a lot of people standing there, and I knew Tiger teed off about an hour and a half after patrons were allowed into the grounds there. So I decided to post up here and watch everybody tee off. And the reason I did that, I wanted to hear them say, "Now on the tee, Tiger Woods," and just be a part of that moment, because it just meant something special to me. So I stood right there. But just before I go any further, I just want you guys to appreciate this view and what you're looking at here, because TV does a good job of hiding it. It just shows you the views that they want you to see. But a lot of people don't understand that when you walk out onto the course, onto the first tee, you have the 9th green, the 18th green, the practice putting green, and the 10 tee box, all within like 30, 40 yards of one another. So that's all happening right here. But when you watch it on television, it looks like its own separate hole and its own separate place, but it's actually stacked right there. So anyway, I sat here, watched everybody tee off. I saw Tiger tee off. It was an amazing experience. I was front row, right up against the ropes. From that point, I actually walked around here, and my goal was to come back here on the second hole, and I wanted to watch the players come down into the second green, because I think that's a fascinating approach shot. So what I did was I walked around the tee box here. I got to about right here, and I noticed these two gentlemen actually looking at this green. There was nobody on the hole, and they were just staring at this green in just fascination. And I realized it was Rick Shields. It was Rick and his friend Neil, and they were standing there looking at the 18th green, and there's nothing there. It's not like the 18th green is like, you know, there's magnolias, or there's azaleas, or there's big trees. There's nothing aesthetically to look at except for just the green, but there's just so much history that's happened here on the screen that they were just totally enthralled with what they were looking at. It's one thing to experience the Masters, but it's another thing to watch somebody else experience the Masters for the first time. So I had been there before, and I don't know if you know this about anyone who's ever been to the Masters ever, but if you've been to the Masters once, you're an expert on everything that has to do with the Masters. So I took my role as the tour guide, and I wanted to show these guys, you know, probably the best vantage points and some places that they had to go, and just make sure that they saw things that I thought were relevant. I think we actually started back down 3 here. We walked around 4, back up through 5. They wanted to see Tiger, and I was like, okay, good luck with that. So we came and we cut across, and we walked back down, and what we wanted to do is we wanted to watch him on 7. So we tucked back here behind the tee box, and I'll put up a picture now. This is Rick standing behind the tee box here, and Neil's standing right beside him, and I'm actually right beside Neil, but I got cut off. So if you're watching the Masters coverage on the app, you would have seen this where Tiger teed off on the 7th, and Rick, Neil, and I were standing right behind them on the 7th tee station. At this point, the course is our playground, and we walked pretty much every square foot of this place. But we came back here because obviously everyone wants to be on Amen Corner. Everyone wants to experience Amen Corner, and you can see right here you have the 11th green, 12th tee box, 12th green. So we walk back here. This place is always just slammed. It's crowded all the time. There's a lot of grandstands here, and this is like a favorite spot for people to get beverages and eat and stuff like that, because who doesn't want to eat lunch on Amen Corner? We sat right here with a pimento cheese, a couple beers, and we just watched people hit tee shots off of the 12th tee, and it just so happened to be the same time that Paul Casey, we saw him hit his little chip shot here that actually went into the hole, that kind of sparked the round that he started to have after that point. We came up here on 13, which is such a cool vantage point. I don't think people take enough advantage of this part of the course, because a lot of people like to see the tee shots, or a lot of people like to see the approach shots into the green. There's a lot of people in this region right here, and then for some reason a lot of people sit up here in this pine straw and they like to watch, I guess, their approach shots come in, but their tee balls don't typically land. I mean, you get a couple up here in the pine straw, and you see that on television, but most of the time they're down in this region right here. And, you know, your big hitters are even up a little bit further. So if you can stand on this bend about, 30, 40 yards in front of where their tee ball lands, there's not a whole lot of people. You can usually get right up against the ropes. And we were fortunate enough to do this once again when Tiger came through, and watched him hit his approach shot on the green there and almost eagle that hole. So it's just another cool experience being able to get close to Tiger. What else did we see? We saw some really cool... Oh yeah, back here on 16, once again, Rick was just like, I want to watch some tee shots on 16. So we got, I kid you not, we were in this pine straw, and we were about right here. We were just at the crest of the hill there, getting ready to look down on the green, and the place just explodes. It was very obvious at that point that that's where Charlie Hoffman hit his hole-in-one, so we were able to be on that hole when it happened. We couldn't see the green because obviously people were all around it and standing up, but we were a part of that cheer and that environment, and that was just a very cool situation, and it was a cool experience. We decided that we can't be at the Masters on a Sunday and not see the potential winner hit one shot, because we didn't see Jordan all day. This was Rick's doing. He had this idea. He's like, hey, we got to get to the 18th, and we have to see Jordan Spieth at least hit one tee shot. So that was our goal at that point. We're like, we have to go see Jordan hit a tee shot. So we stand right here. This is where everyone saw us on television, where you have Jordan Spieth hitting his tee shot, Rick standing obviously in A1 position there, and he's like 6'2", so he stands, above the crowd literally. And then you have little old me over here in the corner. Not sure what I'm doing in that picture. I'm not sure what was happening or what I was looking at, but I look very confused. But Jordan then hits his tee shot into this tree, as we all know, and it was not our fault. It had nothing to do with us. It just, circumstance. But once again, that kind of put the end to his record-breaking round. It was still an amazing accomplishment. It was cool to, just happenstance be on camera with Jordan Sunday at the Masters as he's making his run. That was very neat. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of other things that we saw that were very cool, but there's just so much, and I can't remember it all. I don't have that good of a memory. At the end of this tournament, it is insane how many people fit around this hole. I convinced them to come up to 18th. We stood right by this tower right here, which is not a great vantage point because you can't really see the putting surface, but you were a part of the crowd. You could see the players, from their waist up. We saw Ricky Fowler, who hit his approach. I don't know where it was. I think it was right in here somewhere. We saw him make his putt, and that was a great moment to be a part of. And then from there, obviously, Patrick Reed came and did what he did, and we stood right here on the 18th, and we watched it all happen. In conclusion, I'll make this very brief. This was one of the strangest things I've ever been a part of, because obviously I've watched the Masters on television my entire life, and I've seen everybody putt out on the last hole, and how everyone reacts when the winner puts in his putt to win the Masters. And if it's fortunate enough to be in the last group, it's usually huge. The roar is huge. The congratulations is there. Everyone's happy for that person. This was not that. I don't know. The environment there was for Ricky. It was for Spieth. And in all honesty, it felt like it was for everybody but Patrick Reed. But hey, congratulations to Patrick Reed. It was amazing. Huge thank you to Ping for the invite down. John K. Solheim gave me this ticket. And I had an amazing time, and I just want to say thank you to those guys because it really means a lot to me that they would even think to invite me back down there. So had a great time, great experience. Rick, class act as always. Neil, pleasure to meet you. I highly recommend the Masters. So if you just find yourself in the area, early April, check it out. So thank you guys for watching. As always, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you later. I saluted, just because you can't see me. I saluted.